I'm Carol Kidu Jr. with the news. In this edition, government to help atolls, People's Party backs women, and former Kumu joins Hunters. The Boroko District Court has found no evidence against Australian Sean Honey for 6 counts of weapon charges and 1 count for possession of cannabis. Honey was acquitted from criminal charges after the court found that police used a wrong search warrant form to conduct search on his premises on the 2nd of October last year, where the weapons and drugs were found. In his submissions on 14th January this year, Honey's lawyer Greg Shepherd argued that police used Form 4 instead of Form 3 under the Search Act 1977 and Search Regulations 1977. As a result, the evidence obtained through that search warrant were rejected because it was obtained through a defective search warrant. The court ordered that police destroy the cannabis, bail money of 1,500 kina refunded, and weapons returned to Honey. Minister for Justice Brian Cremer has confirmed that investigations into the contracts awarded to overseas consultants in the Department of Justice and Attorney General is still ongoing and will be completed soon. His response comes after the matter was raised by the Shadow Minister for Justice and Attorney General Dr. Alan Marat.
Minister for Justice Brian Cremer has confirmed that a decision will be made on the contract awarded to overseas consultants soon after the investigation. Cremer made this known after Rabaul MP and Shadow Minister for Justice and Attorney General Dr. Alan Marat raised concerns on the FT payments made to the consultants.
That the consultants were receiving up to 2 million kina a year on salaries and allowances alone, and are paid 3 to 4 times more than the judges of the National and Supreme Courts, and much, much more than the Prime Minister and members of Parliament. If this is true, is payment of such exorbitant salaries consistent with the government of Papua New Guinea's salary scale? Third question, it was also reported that the contracts were not approved by the National Procurement Commission and were found to be illegal by the state solicitor. If so, is the relevant government agencies responsible for public services salary, like the Salaries Conditions Monitoring Committee, SCMC, and the Department of Personnel Management, doing anything to address it?
Cremer also clarified that the complaints were raised in a written letter and investigations are ongoing. He explained that the contracts were paid for private consultancy services and will not fall under the regulation of public services.
That complaint was also attached with a report that raised the specific issues of the amounts being paid, also foreign contractors and payments being made overseas. So that investigation is not complete. To respond to the question, it is still ongoing, and once complete, then a decision will be made in relation to what course of action will be taken. On the issues of the public service, it's important to note that these contracts were paid for private consultancy services, so would not fall under the regulation of public service.
Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Treasurer Ian Ling-Stuckey was bombarded with a series of questions on the country's economy. The questions came from Yalibu Pangia MP Peter O'Neill on the affairs of the country's economy today on the floor of Parliament.
Minister for Treasury Ian Ling-Stuckey lost count of questions raised by the member for Yalibu Pangia in today's Parliament session. Peter O'Neill called for a simple explanation on why the prices of goods and services have risen in the past couple of days.
Inflation will go on top, cost of living will go on top, prices will go something will go on top. What is his plan to curb that?
He did not get a response to that question. O'Neill then called on the Treasurer to table employment numbers in PNG and what the government was doing to curb the increase in unemployment.
Unemployment is skyrocketing in our country. Companies are laying Papua New Guinean citizens off the payroll. Families are struggling. Cost of living is going up. What is the Treasurer's position on those issues? Can he tell this Honourable House, since coming to office, how many jobs has this government created to reflect the growth of GDP and the performance of the economy?
He went on to question what conditions the International Monetary Fund or IMF has set in terms of countries' debt to GDP, to which the Treasurer said the IMF is pleased with PNG's money plan and guided the government in its borrowings.
The main point, what they're looking for, Mr. Speaker, as I mentioned so often, is to ensure that we can maintain that debt. And so they're looking for what's called fiscal consolidation, ensuring that our deficit continues to reduce.
Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Prime Minister James Marape says the national government will use available local resources to help people affected by king tides and rising sea level on many atolls and low-lying islands of the autonomous region of Bougainville. Parliament was informed today that land is running short for the affected people and they have no other land to settle on.
The national government will help people affected by the keen tides in the autonomous region of Bougainville. Prime Minister Marape said this in Parliament on Wednesday, 23rd February, in response to questions by Vice Minister Assistant Prime Minister on Bougainville matters, Peter Samalili Jr., who inquired on the kind of help the national government will give to people living on the atolls. The regional member for Bougainville informed Parliament that most of the villages on many of the atolls on Bougainville have no land to go to as the islands have been severely damaged by keen tides and the rise in sea level caused by global warming and climate change.
We do extend our sympathies and our thoughts are with them for those who are currently under the king tide that has splashed through the gardens and the place of residence. I was shown some photos from the island, and it's quite emotional to see people in those small islands being affected. We offer our support. The government will find some assistance immediately to give support to our people in the feed, Catteries, as well as Modlock, for those who are immediately under this disaster.
The Prime Minister added that a long-term solution is necessary.
We must find a solution for this one immediately, locally, whilst we work with our international climate change support. That is something in the medium term and into the future, but locally or domestically as a government, we have to offer solution to our people who are exposed immediately to this climate change travesty, especially the small, low-lying atoll islands where there is no additional space for food gardening or water, like the Modlock, Catteries and feed. We will offer them immediate support.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Marape said the national government will offer immediate support for the current disaster, as well as the need for them to be looked after going into the future, until the government can find a permanent solution. Maricela Kelleton, TVWAN News.
You're watching TVWAN News. Stay tuned for more after the break. Welcome back. New Power Limited has been in partnership with PNG Power Limited for 2 years supplying electricity to the nation's capital and central province. However, PPL has debts to pay and New Power is concerned. According to CEO Michael Uyari, if the debts are not settled by September, they may face issues paying the gas supplier. New Power and PPL have been in partnership for the past 2 years now, and through PNG Power's support, New Power has been able to deliver their community investment programs. However, they have been faced with a significant challenge this year. New Power CEO Michael Uyari says PNG Power has debts to settle with them, and if there is no evident progress with settling that debt by September this year, there will be issues with paying their fuel supplier for the gas that is supplied to the power station.
That means is we either cut back dispatch, or we're going to have to curtail our supply of power to PNG Power because there's no fuel for the power station. So that's a very real challenge that's approaching us in September this year.
In 2021, New Power's support to PPL delivered a cash surplus of almost 50 million kina to PPL, and after paying their invoices, PPL would have realized a cash positive situation and therefore should have placed PPL in a strong position going into 2022.
Hopefully between now and then we can see some resolution of the debt that's owed to New Power. But we fully support dispatch, and today, this month, we've been doing 54 out of 57 megawatts. So we're right up to 90% full capacity.
Mr. Uari said that when we start winding back the supply of electricity, it impacts communities and families in NCD and Central. In a media release issued by PPL, Acting CEO Obed Bhatia stated that PPL does have a payment plan with all independent power producers. Bhatia said PPL is aware of the statement made by the New Power CEO and advised that PPL have a weekly scheduled payment plan for all the independent power producers, or IPPs, which has been ongoing. The People's Party this week announced that they will be endorsing 4 women candidates in each of the 4 NCD seats, including the regional seat, to contest in the 2022 national general elections. Today, party founder Sir Peter Ipatas met with 3 of 4 women from the party intends to endorse.
Sir Peter Ipatas proudly declared that People's Party would break history in endorsing 4 women in one province to run for elections. He announced the names of the women on behalf of the party leader Dr. William Tongamp, who was not present at the time.
Since the formation of the party, we have always, in every election since 2007, endorsed female candidates. Basically, we feel that the ladies are as capable or sometimes more capable than representing our people in Parliament. We feel that as a party, as an institution, we must continue to give opportunity to the ladies who actually have maybe 50% or more population in this country.
Sir Ipatas congratulated the 4 women who applied to join People's Party in contesting the 2022 national elections.
These are women we believe have the integrity, we believe that they have the experience, we feel that they have a heart for the people of this country and would be able to represent the people of this city in the National Parliament.
The 4 women are Hannah Bice for Port Moresby Northwest, Tanya Bale for Moresby Northeast, Michelle Hawafa for Moresby South, and Sylvia Pasco vying for the NCD regional seat. Sir Peter said women make up half the nation's population, and PNG women have already shown their capability as leaders both in the private and public sector. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
Leading business solutions, print technology and service-led organization Remington Group on Tuesday 22nd announced their apprenticeship program open for 2022. The 4-year program is aimed at providing TVET graduates with technical disciplines and a career pathway.
The Remington Group Apprenticeship Program is a 4-year program aimed at providing technical and vocational education and training graduates with technical disciplines and a career pathway. The program is facilitated in collaboration with the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations through the National Apprenticeship Trade and Testing Board. Through the program, Remington Group trains and supports young Papua New Guineans to achieve certification in their respective trades. Human Resources Group Manager Natasha Austin said the TVET sector is an underdeveloped area with huge potential. The organization has realized this and is harnessing its capacity to fill in the short-term and long-term skills gaps. The participants in the apprenticeship program are assigned to perform tasks in line with their learned skills, or tasks that are related to their trade and undergo block courses from technical institutions arranged by the National Apprenticeship Trade and Testing Board. Program participant Timothy Gay is a junior service technician. He highlighted how the program has added value to his career.
Having this opportunity has been a great experience to me, I have to say. I have to learn new skills to gain much confidence, to having a good relationship with my clients, my customers.
The group's CEO, Peter Goodwin, said the organization is an employer of choice.
Is the fact that now you actually give people something to go on with when they finish their learning, they complete their study. And so they actually have they've attained a really valuable outcome for themselves. It gives them something to fall back on. They don't always have to stay here at Remington.
The Remington Group encourages expressions of interest from final year students who study in the field of electronics, IT, electro-technology or similar to apply for this program. Mary Stella Kellerton, TV1 News.
St. Charles Luanga Catholic Secondary School today opened a special 3-story building which will enhance the school's administration and academic performance to even higher levels. The 3-story building, built at the cost of 1.9 million kina, was opened by the Archbishop of Port Moresby, Cardinal Sir John Ribat.
The 3-story building was designed to be inclusive so that people with special abilities are not left out. Thus, the building has a flat pathway or hump for wheelchair access. Principal Brother Draymond Joseph thanked the students and the parents for the support to the school over the years. He also acknowledged the Department for National Planning and Monitoring for contributing 500,000 kina.
1 million is the contribution from the parents as the project fee for 2021 and 2022.
Before this building, teachers were using a classroom as a staff room.
The learning facilities include a staff room, a sick bay, department offices.
Archbishop of Port Moresby Cardinal Sir John Ribat, as the head of the church, said all Catholic schools in NCD have great need for such development. Cardinal Ribat said he is assured that such a great infrastructure will stay for many years as long as there are students attending the school. Cardinal Ribat blessed the building, assisted by parish priest. Cardinal Ribat said he is assured that such a great infrastructure will stay for many years as long as there are students attending the school. Cardinal Ribat blessed the building, assisted by parish priest of St. Charles Luanga Catholic Parish, Father Patrick Bai. The opening was witnessed by officials from National Planning, the architect and the building contractor. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
Sports is next after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. PNG Hunters are excited to announce the appointment of former Kumul Tommy Butterfield as head of football operations for the 2022 season. Butterfield last year called time on a highly decorated playing career that included 4 Cup Grand Final appearances and a Test debut for the PNG Kumuls, in 2017.
Appointment of PNG International and former Brisbane Tigers rake Tommy Butterfield as head of PNG Hunters operations this week is a welcome addition to the Hunters family. The PNG-born hooker is no stranger to PNG Hunters organization. In 2021, Butterfield made a return to the Intrust Super Cup, playing 2 games for the Hunters. Funny enough, his return game was against his old team Tigers. Butterfield is extremely grateful to have the opportunity to join the Hunters in 2022. He said the players and coaching staff have all made huge sacrifices to relocate to Runaway Bay for the season and really looking forward to contributing where he can and supporting the team throughout the year. Hunters CEO Scott Baker said he was pleased with the appointment. Baker said along with his success as a player, Tommy brings with him more than 10 years of experience working in a managerial capacity in residential care. Baker looks forward to working alongside him in 2022. Meanwhile, the PNG Hunters will be in action this weekend in the Pacificos Sports Melanesian Bowl pre-season match against the Fiji Silktails. Godwin Eki, TV1 Sports.
PNG elite athletes in the likes of Moria Maru and Dika Toa will head down to Australia to train under coach Paul Koffa. Both are preparing for the Mini Pacific Games and the Commonwealth Games.
Weightlifting champion Dika Toa and Moria Baru will be in Melbourne, Australia to prepare for the Mini Pacific Games and the Commonwealth Games. They will be training under coach Paul Koffa.
We would have loved to go down first week of January. That's ample time for us to prepare, but since due to the pandemic and also trying to get funds and also with visa issues, we had to delay our travel.
President of PNG Weightlifting Federation said John Dawanikura said, having not participated in any events for nearly 2 years due to COVID-19 restrictions, the athletes desperately need proper training.
For Moria and head coach Navarra to depart on the 27th of February for Melbourne, and Dick will join them at the end of March. And all of the arrangements have been endorsed by our international coach, Paul Koffa.
Said John Tang Koffa ahead of Baru and Toa's travel. Both athletes leave for Australia in the end of March. Godwin Eki, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the news tonight. Remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.